Hi, this is A. Worsley, that lady who tells it like a TIS. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13 reunion happened this past weekend. I started off watching the first 3 episodes of the new season of Real Housewives, but I think after the third or fourth season, I stopped watching, especially when it got to that Bolo part. I didn't even watch that at all. So I think it was, like I said, the third or fourth one after I stopped. That's when I stopped watching it. But I decided to watch the reunion because I saw previews of the reunion and I saw where it was going to be maybe a little fireworks or something. So I went on and decided to watch the reunion, and I'm glad I did watch the reunion. Andy started off the reunion with talking about Porsha and her activism with Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And he was telling Porsha how he was really proud of her in her, proud of her and her activism and what she did. And he showed little bitty clips of her protesting with Tamika Mallory and other activists, and also showed her getting arrested and stuff like that. And so he said, well, some girls on the show were questioning your activism, and she was saying, yeah, I heard that too, Andy. And she was saying, I didn't like that because what I was doing with my activism was really true and on point. And so Andy turned it to Kenya, and he said, Kenya, you were one of the ones that were kind of saying that Porsha's activism wasn't, you didn't think that it was sincere. She said, yeah, I didn't think it was sincere at first. And so she was saying, well, Porsha was saying, well, why are you always worried about what I'm doing and stuff like that? And Kenya was saying, well, I didn't think it was sincere because when she did a PSA, she had all of the other girls in there and not me. And I'm so glad Porsha put her in her place. Porsha told her, why would I want you on my PSA when you have been talking negative things about me all year long, even before the activism and the protest? And she said, you keep talking about what I'm doing. I'm just doing for the cameras and stuff. What have you done? What I've done, I've done something. And she couldn't pull out a receipt or anything what she had done for activism and stuff like that. And you could see the jealousy on Kenya's face as far as Porsha is concerned. And so Andy got off that subject, and he went to the next subject where they talked about Kenya's marriage and Kenya's relationship. And she was saying that that Mark had blocked her at first, but then he unblocked her, and then he called for alimony. And then you saw the looks on Candy's face. And so Andy was asking her where was her relationship now, and she was saying the only reason why she think that Mark was filing for alimony and all that other stuff was because he wasn't filing for the sake of to keep the family. He was doing it because he didn't want Brooklyn on the show. And Andy kind of gave her a side eye and said, what about the alimony part? She said, well, he's not suing me for alimony right now and stuff like that. And Andy said, well, did he unblock you? She said, yes, he unblocked me. He ain't got me blocked no more. And so when Andy asked Candy about the situation, Candy said, well, what it is, she has nothing against Mark, but she wants Kenya to speak up for herself and talk up to Mark like she does all the girls on the show. That's what she didn't like about it. And then Cynthia chimed in and said, yeah, it's like she does everything that she tries to do good for Brooklyn. He counters it and treats her real bad. And so she kind of looked kind of funny. And then Andy switched it over to Drew Samora and asked Drew about her relationship and what did she think about her husband going out for 3 days without telling her where he was going. And she said her and her husband went to counseling and they talked to that and they handled the situation. But you could tell that Candy had a side eye about that situation too. And so she was saying in her mind, her husband didn't give her no reason to believe that he was cheating on her. And then he said, well, and then she said, well, I gave me the receipts, but it was after the show and in counseling where he was at this restaurant and it was just him by himself, and he stayed at the hotel. It was him by himself. You could tell nobody on that panel believed what Drew Samora was saying, and so Andy read a question, and then in the middle of it, he said somebody was saying, Drew Samora, why was you always in Kenya's marriage and Kenya's business when you're fighting to keep your marriage? And Kenya said that's the problem that I was talking about. She trying to talk about, and so Drew Samora said was, yeah, you was all in my business, but I was not all up in Kenya's business. She said the reason why I made that tweet about Kenya was because Kenya tweeted about the reason why I said that someone on the panel was kind of hitting on my husband. It was Kenya, because she kept saying that my husband looked fine and stuff. After she called him a stray, and they did show a clip where Kenya did say that, and she said the only reason why she was really upset with Kenya because Kenya tweeted something about her daughter and her family, and she was saying that she shouldn't have did that, but Andy said, well, Drew, you also tweeted about that your family was intact, and Kenya needed to stop talking about your family. And then Drew started doing that, crying and stuff. I mean, like I said, the first time Drew cried, I kind of believed that she was sincere. But on that second cry, now the one about her child, yeah, I believe that she was upset about Kenya saying stuff about her child, but the stuff that Kenya was saying about her husband and marriage, I knew that was fake crying on Drew Samora's part. And then after that, it was like Drew Samora and Kenya was going back at it, and so when Andy kind of mentioned to Kenya that in the video it showed that where Porsha had took up for Kenya when Leytoya was talking about her marriage and telling it to Candy, and then she said, because I was upset with Leytoya because she told it, and then Andy said no. In actuality, Candy was the one who was telling everybody, did you talk to Candy about it? She said, me and Candy talked about it, kind of smiled about it, and Candy said, yeah, we talked about it. And you could tell that when it comes down to Candy, to Candy and her husband, Kenya treats them a certain way. But if it's like Drew or Porsha or anybody else, it's like she come at them full force like a bat out of hell. And I think that's the reason why Candy was saying what she said about her treating her husband and stuff. And then they went to like I guess a commercial break or a snack break, and he was talking about everybody in the dressing room, how they was doing and what they were doing. And then when they came back, he told Leytoya, he said, Leytoya, you came out here talking about you want to greet all the ladies except for SpongeBob, which she was talking about Drew. And then after that, she talking about she didn't feel good and didn't come out earlier because she had some kidney problems. He said, what is the kidney problems or cold? So the next Real Housewives is going to be next week. This is going to be a 2-part video. I already know. This is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.